Hi, welcome to His and Ours Game Time. If this is your first time of watching our YouTube channel, please go ahead and subscribe. Hit the like button. If you have any question, please go ahead and ask. If you have any comment, please go ahead and put some comments there, and we'll surely get back with you and we can talk about this. Today, he just came to my mind. I just came back from church, and based on the preaching and the things that are going on around, sometimes men will need to talk. Now, what I'm about to say today, some men may not like it. Some men may feel like he's living in a different world or he's living in a fictitious world. They can say all that. However, these are true things that are going on, and we need to talk about it. Women, they talk to themselves. Men, we really don't talk to ourselves. The only time we talk to ourselves is sometimes when we meet ourselves at the bar, at the club. We talk about things that it's just something regular. Oh, how you doing? How's everything? How's work and things like that. However, the women, they talk deep. They have confidence. They talk. And one of the reasons why women, they live longer than men is because they talk. They don't bundle things together and one day they just blow up. Men, we don't. We always think that we got this, we know this, I'm in control of this. However, we are not in control of Jack. You're not in control of anything. So recently, I heard about someone, and it puts a little bit of somehow, it makes me feel somehow. And how can a man call his wife an ugly woman? And this is not a wife of yesterday. This is a wife that have children for you. You guys started together when you were like nothing, and growing up today, now you are something. And the best you can say is to call your wife an ugly woman. Now, they say beauty is in the eye of the beholder. If you can call your wife an ugly woman, it means you are the husband of the ugly woman, which means you too, you are ugly. Whatever you portray your wife to be is what other people will call her. There's a saying in my country, it's like a proverb, that if you sell your friend or your family, if you sell them cheap, you can buy them expensive. So if you call your wife an ugly woman, it means you're ugly. Now let's digress away from that a little bit. The other thing I want to talk about is men, you need to get your stuff together. You need to get yourself together. And you need to know that if you're married or you have a life partner, you want to cherish them. You want to make them feel good. You want to make them happy. Because the job of a woman in a relationship, their first role is to make you happy as their husband. But some men, we don't see it like that. That woman will pray for you. She got your back. If someone says anything bad about you, that woman will be there to defend you all the way to the grave. Men, can you say something about your wife like that? Can somebody say something about you like that, that you will defend your wife? So these are some of the things that men, we really don't do. And not that we don't do it, but most of the time we don't realize that we're not doing it. So for example, if you're going out to, let's say, an outing or maybe an occasion, you want to walk your wife by you. Your wife has to be next to you. Sometimes they ask you, where's madam? Oh, she's coming. Oh, or she's already in. No, that is your better half. Wherever they see you, they want to see your wife. It commands respect. When you go to a restaurant to have dinner or you just go out to eat, pull out the table for your wife, the chairs for your wife, let her sit down, put the table chairs back in, then you can get your own chairs. If your wife is even doing something that you really don't like, communicate with her, talk to her, and you guys can get a lasting solution. And if you tried everything and it didn't work, go to a psychiatry or psychology session with her. Let her talk out. There are some women out there that some men, before they got married to their wife, they really don't know what that woman went through. And the woman is not ready to share what she went through with you because you did not even talk about it. So many women and men, we take a lot of garbages into our marriage. And when we get into those marriages, those garbages, right, they show up. And now you're having some issues with your relationships. So if you feel like your wife is going through anything like that, you've tried everything to penetrate to that wall, and the wall is as thick as the Great Wall of China, go ahead. Go to a psychologist. You guys sit down, go for marriage counseling, and you will be surprised at what she will share and what you guys can accomplish in doing so. Now, that is not cheap, it's expensive, but you can't put a price on your relationship with your wife. So, as for a man, cherish your wife, make her feel good, say kind words about her. Anywhere you go to, they talk about a wife, let them know that that is your queen and you are the king. People will play chessboard, right? When you play a chessboard, right, a king can do what? A king can die and the game is still not over. But even if the king is alive and the queen is dead, that game is over, which means without her, there is no you. So if you get that in your mind and in your thick skull that without her, there's no you. And where two are gathered, they can accomplish more. Don't forget, men, we are a disaster, and you know that very well. That's why when you see men or boys or guys, when they're still single, when you go to their house, you're going to be picking up, briefs on the floor, things are like everywhere. Now, some men will tell you, no, I'm not dirty. I clean up my house. I do this, I do that. Yeah, you can clean up where people can see. But when they get into your bathroom, what does it feel like? When they get into your closet, what does it feel like? Or what does it look like? Not until this woman, came into your life. And when when she came, she made everything look perfect. So some men, they are not even a man until they have a partner or a wife that change, their ways of doing things. And when we go out there, we always think that we have arrived, or this is me. When other women or other ladies or girls are looking at you, and praising you and say, oh, this is it, it gets into your head and you feel like, oh my God, this is me. We say this in my household: you don't want to start smelling yourself, because as soon as a man starts smelling himself, that is the beginning of his downfall. You don't want to smell yourself. When you go out there and people are giving you compliments, give the compliment back to your wife. I go out there all the time. Some people, they know me very well. I love good perfume. I can pay any amount for a good perfume. I go out there and I see a lot of ladies like, oh my gosh, what do you have on? Even though I know the name of what I have on, I'm not going to tell them. The answer I get now, oh, I can't even remember. My wife bought it for me. And the next day will say, wow, you are a lucky man. It means you are taking good care of her. Let the ladies out there, let them see you like that you're taking good care of your wife. Let them see that. Now, I'm going to go to the other side, which is for the ladies too. Now, ladies or women or wives, this is your own. Before you got married to this guy, you know what you used to do, right? When you go to his house to stay, for the weekend, you go there with 3 or 4 different types of lingerie. That's what you do, right? And when you were there, even at night, you take a shower, you brush your teeth, you even put on your cologne sometimes before going to bed. When you are in the house, you dress so sexy that the guy will look at you and say, oh my God, I am grateful for what I have. I'm going to spend the rest of my life with this woman. Let's fast forward 3, 4, 5, 6 years. You guys got married and you start having kids, or you're having children. And now, as a woman or as a wife, you think you got him down. So all those things that you used to do when you guys were dating, you stop them. And you know what you do? You blame them on the kids or the children. Now, I have children now. I don't have time for this. Trust me, a man is moved by what they see. If you start something, you have to continue it. There are many ways of spicing up your relationship with your husband. Every day should be like a new day. If you are twerking for your husband or for your girl, for your man before you guys got married, you need to continue twerking, whether you have a baby or you don't have a child. You need to continue to twerk. You have to spice up the relationship. You have to make the fire. You have to keep the fire. You got to keep it burning. Before you guys got married, right? You have sex in the kitchen. When you go out there and visit him, right? Sometimes you have in the bathroom. The sex has no place. It's not fixed to the bedroom bed alone because you were spicing up that relationship back then. And now, your husband is looking at you, and anytime he wants to have sex, it has to be on the bed. Who says the bed is the only place to have sex? You gotta be spontaneous. You gotta be spontaneous. You know why? If you don't do this, there are a lot of ladies out there that are willing to do all this for your husband. And when a man tries something that is different to what they have, it's hard to get him back. So you want to keep your marriage, you want to keep your relationship, you want to keep the fire, you want to keep it burning. Dress sexy. My wife at night, I always ask her every night, like, where are we going this evening? Because why? My wife, she take a shower every night. She brush her teeth. She wears different types. She has so many types of lingerie. And I buy them for her. I buy most of it for her. I go to Victoria's Secret and buy it for my wife. And she wears this, even if you are not even feeling or willing, trust me, when you see her like that, like, oh my gosh. When your wife is going outside, she's going to a party, whether you're going with her or you're not going with her. When she dresses, cherish her. Tell her, oh my gosh, what did I do to deserve this beautiful woman? She makes her feel good. You keep the light, you keep the fire, you keep it burning. You cannot call your wife an ugly woman. Even if your wife is ugly, it's not for you to say that. Let other people say that and fight them and tell them the beauty is in the eye of the beholder. That is my wife you're talking about. You cannot talk about my wife like that while I'm here. I don't care what you say behind me or what you say behind her. That's your better half. That is your wife. You cannot allow your friends to talk about your wife like that. Cherish her. The other thing I wanted to say is, if your wife is not calling you a good nickname, something is wrong somewhere. And when I say something is wrong somewhere, something is wrong somewhere. So as I am now in my household, my wife calls me the king. If you go to her phone, you will see it. The king, head of household. Those are the names that she calls me. Why? Because I hold down the fort. I do all my responsibility. I make sure that she's okay, she's well taken care of. She has everything she needed and she wanted. That doesn't mean I can give her everything, but I do all my best. Because as long as she's happy, I am happy, my house is happy. Now, most of the time, a lot of men, they always, don't listen to their wife. Bros, can you hear me very well? If you have a good woman, you know that. And a good woman is always right. Because why? They will die to protect you. They will not give you bad advice because they know that if anything happens to you, it happens to them and it happens to their children or even to their generation. So they will be there to protect you. They will be there to give you the best advice. Sometimes, I've learned my lesson so many times. I probably sometimes will tell to my wife, hey, honey, I'm trying to do this. What do you think? You say, you know what? Don't do it. And, the man ego kicks in. Like, why would you tell me not to do it? I'm going to do it. And I start giving different kind of excuses on how this can be done and it can work. And I'll ask her, what do you think? You will still say, you know what? Don't do it. Sometimes she will tell me, let me pray about it and I'll get back with you. By the time she gets back with me, she say, well, don't do it. Men, We don't like to listen to our wives. What do? We go behind her and do it. And by the time we come back, we lose so much, or we end up not getting the ultimate or the utmost result for what we embarked on. And when we come back to her and say, hey honey, I talked to you about this thing the last time you told me not to do it. Why did you say that? And the woman will tell you, oh, it's just an instinct. Men, listen very well. Women are wiser than men. Why? Because they think deep more than men. Men, we are just like, we just want to do our things like, I want to do it this way, and that 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 way. A woman will sit back, she will think about it. Sometimes I call my wife, she's coming from the end back to the beginning, because she will analyze everything from the end back to the beginning, and she will tell me, oh, you know what? I don't think we should do that right now. Now, does that mean that every time they tell you something they are right? Not every time, but sometimes it's good to listen to them and just be cautious about any of your endeavors. So, men, I don't want to go all around. I just want to tell you this. Cherish your wife. Honor her. Tell her good words. Don't make her feel bad, because she is the mother of your children. She is the one that brought out your generation. And what those kids, what they see you do to their mother, is something that they keep with them, and it lasts forever in their brain or in their mind. And they use that as a template to their own relationship. Now, these days you see there's a lot of millennials that don't want to get married. Why? Because they saw the relationship between their mom and their dad, and they will say, if that is what marriage is called, I don't think I want to be married. Why? Because your daughter sees the way you treated her mom, and he will have a perspective or a perception about every man out there that that's exactly how these men they treat their wife. If that's what it is, I don't think I want to get married. For the boys, some of them, they get married and they can't even keep a marriage. Why? Because they saw the way you were treating their mom, and when they got married, and they think that's the best way to treat a lady, and at the end of the day they get separated, they get divorced, and you can see some young folks these days, they are on their second or the third marriage. Why? Because they always think their dad's way is the best way, because that's what they grew up to know. So try as much as possible to cherish your wife. Let your children know that you cherish their mother. Don't speak ill word about her in front of your children. Don't report your wife to your children. Don't tell your children that their mother is bad, their mother is wicked, their mother is evil. You don't need all that. Whatever relationship that you and your wife has, you guys can sit back, you can sit together, you can communicate, you can find a way. And you see those kids, they know exactly what is going on in your house. You may not know. They are the best pretenders. Yeah. When you argue with your wife, when you guys are going through your tantrum, you're not talking for a day or two, they know, because they can feel the heat. They know exactly what is going on in the atmosphere. They know. And for men, that you go out there and do stupid stuff because you saw a counterfeit, and you forget that you have an original at home, and your wife is in a sad moment, and maybe probably she's talking to a friend, and the kids hear about that. Those things they are just like, that's like an implanted memories in their brain, and it's hard to get away from that. So don't let these girls out there, these ladies out there, that cannot even listen to you when you had nothing. When you started, that woman that you called your wife, she believed in you. Even though you don't have jack, She believed in you. She cooperated with you. She walked with you. She prayed with and for you to get to where you are today. And now you are there and you start smelling yourself. You think that you have arrived, that you did it yourself. No, you didn't. Her prayers, her cooperation with you is what got you where you are today. So you need to cherish her. You need to take her along. You need to let people know that you don't play with your wife. Don't even talk about my wife like that. Let her know that you got her back anywhere you go, even if people are saying bad things about her, because she will do the same thing for you. Women, even if they hate you to the bone, when they go outside there and somebody tries to talk about their husband in an ill way, trust me, that person will not find it easy with them. They will come back home and fight you. They'll come back and tell you what they did, even though you don't deserve for them to fight for you, but they will still do it out there so that those kind of people cannot put them down, or they not put their husband down, because they think this way, that if you are talking about my husband like that, you are talking about me, because I am a reflection of my husband, my partner, or my spouse. So, man, I wish I'm talking to someone today. You know what your relationship is with your wife. You know what you are going through right now with her. If you feel like the relationship is in the rocky stage, find a way to communicate to her, find a way to get through her, find a way to see how you guys can resolve whatever might have been going on. One thing that women will not forget when you do it to them is you going out there to cheat. Now, if you have done that, it is done. There's nothing you can do about it. You can stop and you can go to your wife and beg her, plead for her forgiveness, and you guys can start all over again. Tell her what you want. The reason why a lot of men go out there to cheat is because their wife at home, now they feel they are complacent to do what they used to do before. And men are always moved by what they see. So, women, spice up your relationship. If the kids are not home and you feel like, go to your husband, tell her you want to have sex. Yeah, yeah. Because some women will not even do that sometimes. Men love a spicy woman. One more thing that I wanted to say is this. For some men out there that married a strong woman, when I say a strong woman is a bossy lady, they're sassy, they know what they want, and they know what they don't want. They stick to their guns, they do exactly what they want to do. And you still went ahead and proposed to that lady. Now, when you got married to that lady, you want to change her. You can't teach old dog new tricks. That is who she is. All you need to do is to embrace her and support her. And that woman will respect you for the rest of her life. She'll tell people, I know that I'm not an easy person. My husband understands me very well. And because she understands me very well, we have a very good relationship. So if you feel like you married a strong woman and now you're looking backward and say, oh, I shouldn't have married her. I didn't know this. You knew. You knew. You read the fine print. So support her. And from other guys that their wife makes more money than them, sometimes these guys, they feel less of themselves. A woman will give you all her life. Money is not everything to a good woman. Their relationship is very, very important to them. Most of them will even give you their salary just to make sure that they have their husband. Men, final word. Cherish your wife, encourage her, say good words. And women, Spicy up your relationship. Talk to your husband with respect. All those things that you used to do when you guys were dating, you need to get back to that. Don't use your children as an excuse for you not being sexy, for you not doing what you're supposed to do. Take care of your children and take care of your husband. Those children, they will leave you one day. As soon as they are 18, some of them leave the house at 18 and don't come back. It's going to be you and your husband that will be left together. So continue to build that relationship. So when those kids, when they leave, your relationship with your husband will still be solid and you guys will still be together. I tell my kids every day, I know you guys are going to leave. I call them aliens. You're a visitor in my house. When that time comes, you're going to leave. It's going to be me and my wife. So please don't get in between us. Sometimes I make fun of this and I tell them, don't destroy my relationship. Don't mess up my marriage. Let your kids know that their mother is a no-go area because they'll play different kind of games with you. But when they leave, it's still going to be you and your wife. So let us cherish each other. Let's talk to each other. Let us conversate. Let us communicate. Let us treat ourselves with respect. Let us honor ourselves. And let us say kind words about ourselves. Let us fend for ourselves. When I say ourselves, let the husband fend for his wife. Let the wife fend for his husband. Let the man do the right thing. And you know what I mean by the right thing. Don't leave the original for a fake product, because the fake product is not interested in you, is interested in what you have. Because this fake will not even think or even talking to you 10, 15 years ago when you were nobody, when you were nothing. That lady stick to you. So thank you all for listening. I hope I didn't, bore you too much. But if you do have any question or you have a topic that you want me to talk about, let us talk about it. And as time goes on, I'll be bringing in some older couples that have been married for like 40 years, 50 years. And they can tell us, give us advices on, how to keep your relationship, how to spice it up, how to make that relationship rock solid that no one or no outside force will be able to penetrate into it. Thank you for watching and have a great time. So if this is your first time of watching my video again, subscribe, hit the like button, share with your friends and family, and let us talk about this. Men, we need to talk about this. It is not about you. It is about your generation, your children that you are having. What kind of life do you want them to have? How do you want them to live your life, even when you are not here again? Thank you, and have a great day.